Hello, this is Ilya, and this is my overview of the whole Cambridge application from start to the end. This is aimed at UK students applying in 2020, but this advice should still be relevant for anyone applying in any year. It's just the dates and deadlines might be a bit different in different years. If you're applying to be an organ scholar, or if you're applying as an international student, you might have a few different dates and deadlines, and I've put the relevant links in the description. The content in this video is accurate at the time of making, but it's very possible that Corona might affect a few things, but the general framework of the whole application system should be the same. The first deadline you need to worry about is the UCAS application deadline. This is when you send all your information like your grades and your personal statement to all the universities and courses you're applying for. If you want help with writing your personal statement of Cambridge, I've made a separate video and you can check that out. You can apply for up to 5 courses which can be at the same uni, or you can apply for 4 courses which are medicine, and you can't apply to both Oxford and Cambridge in the same year. As part of your UCAS application, you'll be telling Cambridge which course you want to study and at which college. If you're applying this year, you probably already have decided which course you want to apply for, but if you haven't, have a look at all the courses and decide ASAP what you'd like to study. Whatever you do, you need to be dedicated to your subject. Once you know which course you'd like to apply for, you can choose which college. Cambridge University is made up of about 30 constituent colleges, and your college will be where you eat and sleep, so basically where you live. The colleges vary a lot because some are old, some are new, some are rich, some are poor, different accommodation, different tutors. So they vary a lot. For example, Trinity College is the richest college by far with about 1.5 billion in net assets, and Clare Hall is the poorest college with only 34 million in net assets. Most colleges offer most courses, but some colleges don't offer some courses. In general, the smaller colleges might not offer all the smaller subjects, but the big subjects should be at pretty much every college. There's some colleges which are only for women, and there's some colleges which are only for mature students or graduate students. But there's a lot to say about colleges, and I won't go through them in this video, but I can make another video if people would like. Regardless of which college you apply to, you'll be going to the same lectures and doing the same course, so your course is more important than your college. Okay, so in your UCAS application, you'll put down which course and which college you'd like to study at. You can also put down an open application, which means you don't choose a college and you'll be assigned a random college, but I would not recommend doing that because you tend to end up at the undersubscribed colleges, and they tend to be the less nice colleges. The absolute deadline for your UCAS application is 6 PM on the 15th of October 2020, but your school will probably ask you to send in your application a few weeks earlier. For example, for me, it was the end of September when I had to send in my application. It costs £20 to apply for one course and £26 to apply for more than one course. The 15th of October is also the deadline for registering for your pre-interview assessment. This is an assessment you'll have before an interview, and in general the science subjects tend to have one, whilst the humanities have an at-interview assessment. You can check out if your course has a pre-interview or at-interview assessment by checking the link in the description. Your school should register you for your pre-interview assessment, but double check they have. It should be free because Cambridge doesn't charge anything, but your school might charge you for admin costs. This didn't happen for me though, and I don't think it does normally happen. If you're applying for medicine, the pre-interview assessment you'll be having is the BMAT, which you probably know a bit about already. If you're wanting to sit it in November, you'll have to register by the 1st of October. So once you've submitted your UCAS application and registered for your pre-interview test, if you have one, the next thing you need to do is the SAQ, which stands for Supplementary Application Questionnaire. It's something that only Cambridge does. You'll need to submit a SAQ by 6 PM on the 22nd of October, which is exactly a week after the UCAS deadline. The SAQ is quite straightforward, and it's a bit like an additional UCAS application. It's just a few extra details and questions. You'll be asked to submit a photo, and if you get into Cambridge, that photo will become the photo on your university card. So this is mine. You'll also have the chance to write an additional personal statement, but it is optional, and I put nothing down and I was fine. After you've submitted your SAQ, the next thing you'll be doing is sitting your pre-interview assessment, or BMAT if you have that, and it will be on the 4th or 5th of November. It should be at your school. In terms of preparation, I won't say much in this video, I can make another one, but in general, look at past papers and read ahead on your A-levels. The next stage is hearing whether you have an interview. About 3/4 of people who apply get an interview at Cambridge, so you'll probably get an interview, especially if you meet the entry criteria. So I got my email mid-November, and I think that's when you normally hear about it. If you haven't been rejected, you'll have your interview in the first 2 weeks of December, and normally this is at your college, the one you applied for, but it looks like this year it might be online. If you'd like some advice for preparing for an interview, you can have a look at my other video. After your interview, you probably won't hear from college until January, when you'll be told if you've got in or not. If you've been rejected, then you could maybe ask for some feedback, and you can potentially still get in via adjustment after you get your exam results, or if you apply again next year and take a gap year. I know a lot of people who got rejected, took a gap year and then got in, so it's very feasible to do so. If you've got in, you've either received a conditional or unconditional offer. Most people get a conditional offer based on exam results. The standard offers are A star, AA for humanities, and A star, A for sciences, but these offers can vary. If you've got an unconditional offer, it's probably because you've sat your exams already, and I've never heard of anyone getting an unconditional offer before they've sat their exams. Some people who get an offer won't get it from the college they originally applied to, but from another college, and this is called getting pooled. This means that the college you applied to thought you're good enough to get in, but they don't have enough space to accommodate you. So they put you in the pool, and other colleges which have extra space will look through the pool and take in applicants that they think are good enough. Usually you'll just get an offer from a different college, but sometimes the different college might call you again for a second round of interviews, but that's pretty rare. The pooling system makes the application system more fair because it acts like a buffer against courses which happen to be oversubscribed in 1 year in some colleges. In general, the pooling means that students go from more popular colleges to less popular colleges, but it can sometimes work in unexpected ways. The first round of pooling is called the winter pool, and there's also a summer pool, which I'll talk a bit about later. So after January, there'll be 3 kinds of people. You'll either be rejected, or receive an unconditional offer, or receive the conditional offer. If you got an unconditional offer, then there's not much for you to do. You'll start your term in October 2021. If you got conditional offer, like most offer holders, then you'll sit your exams in May and June and wait until results day. If you're applying for maths at Cambridge, or sometimes engineering at a few specific colleges, part of your offer will include the step 2 and step 3 maths exam. It's a very difficult exam, and you'll sit it alongside your A-level exams. It's probably more important than your actual A-level exams, because I know people who've been rejected even though they got all A stars but didn't do quite well enough in their STEP exam. The registration dates for STEP have not been released yet, but in the last few years it's been in April, so there's plenty of time. Once you sat all your exams, you won't hear from Cambridge until results day, which is when you'll find out if you got in or not. Some people will have been through the summer pool, which is a bit like the winter pool but in summer, and it's when you just miss your offer, but your college thinks you're good enough to get into another college maybe, and yeah, another college might let you in. Most people who get an offer get in. If you've missed your offer just by a tiny bit, they might still let you in. If you've got extenuating circumstances, then they might let you in even though you missed your offer by quite a bit. If you have missed your offer and they're not letting you in yet, call them up, call up the admissions tutor, try to explain your situation, and they might still let you in. Maths is pretty much the only subject where not most people who get an offer get in. In fact, in maths, about half of people who get an offer get in, and that's because STEP is so difficult. In fact, only a quarter of people who sit STEP meet their STEP offer, and another quarter are let in just because they were so close to meeting their STEP offer. If you just missed your offer or you think your grades are just wrong, I would say it's definitely worth doing remarks, because I had 4 of my GCSEs remarks and 3 of them had different grades. I gained 2 A stars at GCSE just by doing remarks. If you've been rejected and you call them up and they're not letting you in, or you've tried to apply for a remark and your grades haven't gone up, then what you can do is just move on, go to your insurance university. But if you really want to go to Cambridge still, you can take a gap year and apply again. Or a lot of people apply to Cambridge, get rejected, go to Oxford, or vice versa. But it's not the end of the world. If you do get in, congratulations. You'll automatically have secured your place, and you should be starting term in October, and you'll probably be moving in to college at the end of September. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, please comment them below, and also please subscribe. Thank you. SAQ, which stands for Supplementary Answer Question. No. Supplementary Application Questionnaire,